Welcome to episode 7 of Untying Knots. I'm your co-host, Lyndon, and this is Angelica, and we're excited for the episode we're about to bring you today. Listen, we've been talking a lot about divorce, we've been talking about dating, cheating, and we even had a conversation with a married couple. But today we want to do something outside the box. We really want to push the envelope. We want to get controversial. We want to be provocative. We want to say the thing that we all want to say but never say. So we brought some friends in today to have a real conversation. We got some really good people on the couch with us today, and we really want to introduce and let you into our conversation.
So we are going to get raw, authentic, and unapologetic today. So we have one of my favorite influencers. All of them are here. They have their own perspective, and we're excited to hear it. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Cool. My name is Ashley Garcilaso. I'm a barber. My Instagram is Euphoric Fades. And I also have my own podcast. It's called Just Hear Me Out.
I am Coach Kells. I am a social media influencer. I'm an actor, model. I'm a massage therapist, personal trainer. So pretty much do everything. So follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Coach_Kells.
I am JB, formerly known as Debo, the biggest, not the littlest. I am a serial entrepreneur / investor, but most people know me for fitness. If you're looking for any online coaching or just want to get right for the summer, get right, get tight, you can find me at Heaven Swag or Rich Made Fit on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The biggest.
I am a Dockside fitness content creator, not influencer. You can find me on IG and TikTok.
Yo, we're excited to have y'all with us. If this conversation is anything like the one we had pre-production, we're about to have a fire-ass conversation. So let's talk about shitting on people. Let's talk about OnlyFans. Let's talk about what shit is kind of suspect and not, but I'm excited to have y'all. So look, before the show, right, we're kind of talking about some things me and JB and Kels were about 50-50. And Angelica, you got a whole fire started. Got dragged through the mud about this, about should you go 50-50 as a man with your girl. So I want to open it up. What do y'all think about going 50-50? Is that boss activity? Is that traditional? Is that new age? What you think?
Of course, it's definitely not traditional. That's not traditional. I would say it's along the lines of being a boss, but I also think that's what comes with being a man. Like, a real man wouldn't sit there and make his woman go 50-50. That's my personal opinion. I do look at you as not being a real man if your woman has to do 50-50 and you're not waking up every day giving 110%, you're really just full of lazy-ass excuses, and you less of a man in my eyes and probably 85% of the world eyes too. So with me, it ain't no 50-50. Now, I am an investor, and sometimes we might not live that lavish month. We might not be able to go to Aruba, Costa Rica, so we might, have to digress on some of our outings. Now, if you want to pick up that slack and you can afford to, which hopefully you are learning enough from me to pick up the slack, then that's another, story. But off the rip, 50-50, nah, I'm more of a man than that.
Santiago, what do you think?
I think there are circumstances for it working or not working. I think there are many variables. Like, for example, if they're both working and they both make equally the same amount of money, I wouldn't be opposed to being 50-50 with someone. But if the man is making a substantially larger amount of money than the woman, by all means, he should be the one handling all the bills, for sure. Like, because if she's a school teacher making $55,000 a year, and he's an investor or like a trader or something of that sort, and he is like in the $200K, $300K, even $150. Like, come on. Like, what do you mean she has to pay half of the $200 bill for the light? Like, what is that? That is just...
That's a great point.
But there are circumstances for both of them, honestly.
Yeah. Kels?
Sit up. Me personally, I wouldn't make my woman pay half. But like she said, it is circumstantial. It is per relationship. I mean, some people prefer that. Some women want to feel like they are making a difference in the household as well. So it's per relationship, but I wouldn't say you're less of a man if you can't afford to pay all the bills, because everybody it's different parts of life. If you're 25 and you're in a relationship and you can't afford to pay all the bills at that point in your life, that's okay.
Go get some more money.
Go get some more money, yeah, but at some point in your
So
life,
many outlets. When I grew up, it was only the streets, the blocks, a woman, those were our outlets to make quick money.
Yeah.
You got TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, sponsorships, ambassadorships. It's no fucking excuse.
OnlyFans.
everybody got
OnlyFans, like
everybody got their
send
down
pictures of your
moments, though.
feet. You can send pictures of you and your boxers, your drawers. Like, if you really want to make that woman happy, and if you want to live a better life, get your fucking ass up and go make some money. I know millionaires that cut grass for a living. I know millionaires that are janitors for a living. They own their own janitorial services. Like, you can't sit here and tell me you can't make $1 million off being a barber. Like, I know a millionaire, smash. If he ain't a millionaire, he almost there. You know what I'm saying? But it's too many different ways to make a lot of money. And if you just gonna sit here and feed me excuses, then you ain't no man. You feed that shit to your girl, but don't feed it to me. That's just what that is.
I hear you.
I do think that there is seasons, though.
It's
And-
seasons.
Yeah, and as a young
like I
man,
said, coming out the gate, we not doing no, hey, 50-50. No.
So
nah,
do you
if
think that you should date if you can't pay for the full
Hell no.
bills?
You should not be dating if you broke.
You ain't gotta be broke, but if you can't pay for all of y'all bills, should you be dating?
Who is y'all? Let me get to know her first. I want to know what kind of bills she may have. I
I
gotta learn.
oh no, you said
just said big balls.
that.
First off, no, I'm not paying your bills. Like, we not doing that. If you can upkeep your bills and money before me, you should be able to do that during me.
So what
Now,
point do you start paying her bills?
when she move in with me and now your rent is my rent, or if I have to elevate you like my last ex and buy you a vehicle or things of that nature, then those are my bills. But when you come to me and you get your nails done every 2 weeks or you pay your cell phone bill, that's still your bills. I'm here for the extras, Now, when you move in, I got that whole rent. You ain't got to worry about it. Now, if you fall short, yeah, I'm your man. Hey,
I think that makes sense, honestly.
Baby, I need
I
something
think
for the
that-
car note. I need this.
Like, I don't think there's-
But as far as you coming into my life and you want me to just take over, hold on now, shawty. On your brakes.
So you're not doing that. You're not doing the pay for hair, pay for nails every 2 weeks type of thing until she move in.
He probably
That was like a
will.
yes.
He probably would.
That's not what you just
Y'all want me
said.
to be 1,000% honest?
100%. If you're tricking, you
I date women that don't need the wigs and the sew-ins and things of that
There you
nature.
go.
So
valid.
Okay.
that's just me being 1,000. Now, would I pay for the nails? I do. I am a man that get my feet and my hands done. I go once a month, so that once a month I definitely take care of it. But if she's one of those women that go every 2 weeks, then on that 2 weeks it's already overstood that she's paying that, because I do damn near everything else. So you can't afford to pay once a month for your nails. You really might not be the type of woman for
So
me.
if you're paying for everything, what's the role of the woman in the relationship?
Peace
what does
to
she
elevate me. The right woman would elevate any man, but especially me. Like the right woman would propel me to the next tax bracket again and continue to elevate not just my finances, but my mental, my physical. She'll make me go harder in the gym, help my diet. So the right woman will propel me in many different aspects to where her return would be tenfold, if you get what I'm saying. The wrong woman would not bring peace, and it would be more of a liability where every month I'm coming off, instead of 7,000 in bills, now it's 12,000 in bills because I got to try to do whatever it may be. So I'm more so about assets and liabilities, and I can tell that in the first 30 days when I'm getting to know a woman.
But what about, okay, as a guy, you're trying to build, right? You have a business idea, there's a venture you want to pursue, and a lot of your disposable income might go towards that venture. So it's like, do you have the revenue, the money to be putting her eyelashes, her hair bill, whatever she want?
Hey, baby,
and you
I just
building a
bought this
business?
property for $120. You got me this month?
Absolutely.
See? Just that simple.
So is that
And
really
she
50-50?
already understands, because when she comes in my lifestyle, she sees, oh, he's a gentleman. Oh, he carries himself like this. Oh, he has all these different assets and things going on. So she can understand, like I said, to bring me peace.
Yeah.
So I might be stressed because I just spent $120 and got $10,000 left to my name, and we got $7,000 in bills. So then I return to my young lady, hey, woo, 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 communication. And she, oh yeah, I got it this month, baby. So that's still not 50-50. That's 80-20, 90-10, or catching the slack where slack is.
I feel
But I
that.
still don't
Yeah.
believe in 50-50.
I feel that. Now, Ashley, you're in a relationship,
Yes.
right? So kind of what's more your dynamic?
So our goal has always been to eventually he takes care of most of the stuff. And that's honestly what it's been throughout our relationship. But we live a good life.
Is
and
that your expectation for him to carry most of it?
I think in some ways, yeah, because I birthed his child. And I love to be home with my baby. So if he can pick up more slack, just because of that. And also, we went into the relationship like that. Like, we both made good money. It was like 70-30, I would say, maybe 60-40 sometimes. And it's what worked out for us. But the goal is to eventually for him to do most of it, right? To where I can eventually just not really, I hate to say not do much because I'm also very career oriented.
Just live life.
I love to like not even have to think about my career in finances. I love to like carry my career freely, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But that's the goal, you know, and I understand that we are both in our 20s. I understand that stuff is expensive and we like nice things. We both do. So if I can help incorporate towards that, I don't mind doing that.
For sure. Now, Angelica, me and you had different dynamics in our marriages, right?
Yeah.
So for me, when I was married for 7 years. And 5 of those years, my ex-wife was a stay-at-home mom. So I paid for everything. Sole provider, took care of every single thing in the house. Now, I don't subscribe to the idea of 100 and 0. Like, I don't think a guy should be doing everything and a woman just get to chill and live life. Hell no. Hell no. So how I look at it is the 50-50 to me is that I go outside and I make the money and I bring it home. And what my ex-wife would do is she managed the household for me. So the piece you're talking about, the help, like, hey, I got this business I'm trying to do, she would help me with that. So like, I never paid a bill in my marriage. I made the money to pay the bill.
She handled everything.
She paid every bill for us. You know what I mean? So it's like she was raising our kids and
That's a
doing
good
dishes
50-50.
and
That's a good
stuff like that. So it's like
the problem. I think the problem is that a lot of men don't give value to what you were giving value to, which was taking care of the household, not having to worry about when is this due, or anything like that. So you give value to that. I think this discussion has been going for as long as it has been, because most men don't see value in what you saw value in. They see, stay-at-home mom, you don't do nothing all day. Oh yeah, well, you take care of a toddler. See how that fucking goes.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
So my dynamic was different, and a lot of people don't know this, so you guys can drag me on this too. So my ex made significantly more money than I did, significantly. And we were 50-50. So I would pay the private school, he would pay the mortgage, I would pay the health stuff.
Absolutely
And on
not.
top of that, I had a business, I was raising kids, I was breastfeeding kids, and I was bringing money. So
Absolutely not.
obviously, my situation was different. Keep in mind, he came from a millionaire cartel family, and we actually paid for our wedding 50-50. The family obviously didn't even chip in because obviously I didn't know that the family was involved with the cartel, and his father did not want us to get married. So I actually am coming out of a 10-year marriage where we were 50-50. So to my comment, I definitely do not want to be with somebody that's making less than me. So
I love it. And you're right, it's adding value. In that situation, when you have more money, to Santiago's point, it's like, why would you not?
That is the exact situation I explained at the beginning. If he is making $300K and you're making $60K, he should pay all the bills. This is no discussion. Like, it doesn't matter.
To play
like,
devil's advocate.
It just makes sense. Like, what do you mean you're making $300K and I have to pay $50?
I had a
Like,
problem afterwards because I had a problem afterwards when I found out how much money he was hiding from me. But in my situation, it was circumstantial. There was other things going on in the marriage.
Yeah, you have a very unique
I have a very
story.
unique situation.
Yeah.
But I was also making money. And here's the other thing too. It's like, at what level, right? Obviously, he was making higher 6 figures. I was making lower 6 figures, but we were both making 6 figures at the time. But yeah, it's circumstantial. So yeah, but Kels?
To play devil's advocate. So if you're coming off a 10-year marriage where you were doing 50-50 with a man who made more than you, why would you have a problem with being with a man who makes less than you if he can do 50-50?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
So I actually don't have a problem with dating somebody who makes less than me. But in that moment, we were talking about financially. So if he's going to pick up the slack elsewhere, then the financials change. Like, if you're going to stay home and you're going to take care of everything in the house while I go to my speaking engagements, cool. I don't mind if you make less than me because I'm going to handle shit, right? But again, for me, I feel like it goes back to the circumstances involved. So as to the comment, I understood what people were saying, like now you're the liability. But at the end of the day, that's my preference. I prefer a man that makes more than me. And for those that don't know, I'm also in my 40s, so I'm a little bit further down the line in building. Like as somebody that's in his 20s, right? So I obviously wouldn't be dating somebody that's probably still building. I would probably be dating somebody that's making more money. But to the other point, I don't mind elevating my partner. If I see that he is building and we make, close enough, I don't mind saying, hey, I can teach you with business strategy. I can teach you with this or that. I don't mind that. And I think that's the other thing that people didn't see.
Would you invest into him and his business?
I would.
Or businesses or properties or whatever.
I would invest in his vision for sure, 100%. Because when you are in a relationship with somebody, partnership is everything. Because in my relationship, I didn't build my empire that I have now. I built that after my divorce. He never saw me as a businesswoman. So I built everything I have afterwards. So now going into another relationship, I don't mind helping somebody build. I have no problem with that because then we can both run empires. So it's not like I'm going to be like, you sit there and I'm going to run shit. No, that's not how it's going to be. It's going to be like, share with me your vision and mission. Does it connect with my vision and mission?
Yes.
That makes sense.
So let's get into that more about being with somebody that makes significantly less than you. So as a woman, would you be with a man who made 40, 50% of your income? And all you women make good money. And as a guy, I feel like we always marry down, right? Like, rarely are we with the woman.
It depends on what you mean by down.
Yeah.
Financial.
Okay.
I'm not talking about.
I don't date down.
Yeah, he's trying to clip us. Financially. Only financially.
Yeah, we're not talking
Okay.
about nothing else. Okay. Like if you make 200, how often are you dating a woman that makes 150 to 250? You're probably with the woman that makes like 60 to 80.
Because all the people were saying McDonald's, the McDonald's cuties and the Walmart cuties.
Yeah. So there's a guy, we're not going to give him too much clout, but he had made a comment that like guys will take anybody, whether you work at McDonald's or you're a lawyer. Men don't care.
No,
I care. Anybody.
Yeah, I care.
I'm about to say,
I care. So whoever you are, this high value gentleman care. I don't know about you, but I care.
It just shows. It just shows me what your priorities are in life. If you prioritize, working at a lower income job, then I probably don't want to be with you because you're not going to be able to elevate me the way I want you to elevate me, stimulate me the way I want you to stimulate me. So I mean, obviously, a higher paying job comes with more responsibility, more education, all that stuff. So I mean, you can probably stimulate me and elevate me in other ways too. So where I can make more and I can be better. So yeah.
So would you date a woman that made significantly less than you?
You can make significantly less than me. That's not the issue. It's what you're doing. If you like art, a lot of times if you're into arts, you're not making a lot of money usually. So it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing something that you actually love to do and you're not making a lot of money, cool. But if you're just settling with a low paying job because you don't want to work for real, probably not.
That was going to be my exact answer. It's just, I would do it, but okay, but what are you doing to change the situation? Okay, I met you at this point, right? But are you like pushing forward?
You would date someone from McDonald's and Walmart?
I would.
Let's say he's the general manager at McDonald's.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean,
You ain't even say that, but that's a good. You didn't even say that.
Hey, general manager might be making 6 figures for real.
No,
You're the general manager, so you take your boy out. You're like, oh, what do you do for work? Like, I work at
Crazy
McDonald's.
thing is, I got a homeboy named Justin. He does generally manage. His dad owns 13 McDonald's. He manages 3.
That's lit.
Yeah, they both.
They make a lot of money.
Some women will look at that and be like, oh, you work at McDonald's. Like, that's all they're going to hear.
It's just
Yeah.
like,
He might frame it in a way so he don't put himself
We all
out
have
in a
been
certain
framing
way.
it in a way.
Yeah.
We all just did that.
When
We all
I-
just said if you work at Walmart or McDonald's, I can't respect you enough for you to be in a relationship with me.
Yeah, because
We all did
myself
say that.
I wouldn't
Because you're looking
say
at
that.
the lower, you're looking at the cook in the
Yeah.
cashier level.
So this
Yeah,
is
The
how I
only
see
reason I
it.
wouldn't date anyone that works at McDonald's is because in my mind, when I think about working at McDonald's, I'm thinking about very young people. So that's like
Yes.
basically like the only reason. That's why I would like
Right.
immediately like
So you
decline.
don't mind dating below?
So let me ask
No,
you guys
no,
this.
not at all.
Financial.
So it's
But what are you doing to keep moving?
Right.
Because like we were talking earlier, I wake up and I think about money like instantly.
Mindset.
How am I
So,
gonna
yeah.
make money today? How can I make? Okay, I made like right now it's the beginning of the month, so I have to take care now of what I made like last month, right? So I gotta run those numbers. So now my goal for next month, like the beginning of next month, is like, how am I gonna beat that? So that's what I'm doing all the time
Right.
to make sure that I keep progressing.
Right.
So if you're just stuck and you have like no aspirations or anything like that, you're not trying to get a better position in your job or
Right.
getting more hours or working
Right.
the corporate ladder in America or whatever, like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, because like I want more for myself all the time. Like right now, I'm about to pay off my car like this next month, and I already wanted to buy myself another SUV for my birthday in January, and that's what I'm working towards right now. It hasn't. I haven't even finished paying off my car right now, and I'm already saving up so that I can turn that into a reality. I'm working towards it, and this is something that I want to happen next year.
Right.
We're only just beginning June, so that's like kind of like you have to have that mindset of just
Right.
let's keep moving forward. What are we doing?
And that's where I was saying is, are you there to learn the franchise operations? Are we here because you like the food? Like, why are we here? That's how I see it. Like, what's the mindset behind that?
Yeah.
You know, or
I guess that does matter.
yeah,
Like-
mindset, because it's like, okay, so you're a McDonald's worker. Not saying that being a McDonald's worker is a bad thing, but if this is your aspiration, are you going to stay here, or why are you here? So in
Yeah.
that situation, for me to say, how can I, and here's to play devil's advocate. How can I date a McDonald's worker and then I have to go to Australia? Like, you want me to pay your ticket to Australia for my live show?
Yeah, that's a big issue.
It's a big income difference. You know, if I'm driving a nice Benz and you're driving a Ford Focus, you expect me to pay your Ford Focus and my Benz? I mean, look, I'm being honest. So I have no problem being dragged.
What happened to helping somebody out?
I would not be dating anybody that works at McDonald's because I have put such hustle and drive into my craft.
That's fair.
That why do I deserve the McDonald's guy and why does he deserve the 9 stream income that I just built?
But it also
Especially if he in his
depends.
30s working at McDonald's.
It also depends on what you value in a man, though. But because if he could be bringing a lot more to the table than finances that you really are looking for in a man,
That is
the
also
guys
very
that
big.
you was with, like your ex-husband, that he wasn't providing for you.
But can
so
we really get
how much
over
are you
the
willing?
financial standpoint?
That's why I say it depends on how much what you really value
Okay,
in a
so
man.
that's a good question. What other things does a guy
Right.
bring to a table, to a man, bring to a table other than finances?
Can he afford her?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is dating within your league, right?
In your tax bracket.
But for sure. For
Every
sure.
man, there's a woman for him in his tax bracket.
Yeah.
Agreed. But
Like-
to your point, Kels, I agree, is that I think a lot of times women look at how much money do you make, and the real quality that should be looked at is how do you manage your money that you do make.
Correct.
True.
There's a lot of people that make really good
Correct.
money that are
Be
paycheck
broke.
to paycheck, broke, or like severely in debt.
Yeah.
They don't make
Yep.
no money.
Yeah.
There's people that make 60 racks a year and they live a lifestyle it's like 100,000 because
Yeah.
they're saving,
Correct.
they're
That is
investing,
100%
they're,
true.
they're moving their money strategically.
I think that is a problem
But, like,
within America in itself.
For sure.
A lot of people
again,
are
but-
living above
but
their
it
means.
is,
Like
but-
if you are barely making your minimum payment, your minimum due on your payments, you do not need to be out there getting your hair done every 2 weeks. You don't need to be
Facts.
getting lashes. You don't need nails.
Facts.
Or
Or
wasting
you
money
can
on them fake
find
bags.
you can find also options for those things. Like for example, these lashes I have on, I put these on myself.
I could tell. I could tell.
I
Work with
didn't
what you
pay
got.
for this. I didn't pay for this because like going to a lash tech, like that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
so
I
like
think-
I'm not gonna do that. I only put this on like just for this. So like there are options to it. Nails, oh well, you can get press-ons. Oh,
Yeah.
but you want custom nails every two.
And
So that's
a-
where the issue lies.
It's a mindset thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're really saying. It's like, oh, you have a certain mindset about your money. And I think that's the more important part of it. It's like, it's not if they make more or less significantly. It's like, what type of mindset do they have about money in general?
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
tell you
That's
way
an
more.
Instagram lifestyle you're trying to live. You're
Oh,
trying
for
to keep
sure.
up with the Joneses.
For sure.
And you want to waste your money on things that don't matter, or even if you can't afford, it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. But a lot of women waste the money on fake designer bags when their priorities aren't together. You know, their mattresses on the floor, or they don't have no pots and pans.
Classic
or,
Houston woman.
You know, their AC don't work in their car, and we live in Houston, Texas. You dig what I'm saying? So I feel like the priorities are messed up in this day and
general.
time for not just men, but women. They trying to keep up with the lifestyles of the Instagram models, the OnlyFans girls, and they'll go waste their money on all this fake shit. Then want a man like me, Kills, or yourself to pick up her bills. Why do I have to pick up your bills when you spending all your money on fake things to uphold a fake image that's not making you real money? Now you're bringing me stress and heartache for what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it's mindset. A quality man
and
should
that's
never
how
attach himself to that woman.
89.7% of the women there are. Their mindset is fucked up because they look at social media and be like, oh, I want to look like this, I want to live like this, but financially can't afford it. So now they're stressed, or they want to pinpoint and hop on a gentleman like ourselves and want us to do it. I'm not for that.
Hell
Like,
no.
what do you have going for yourself other than fat ass and good pussy? Because I can go buy that if I really wanted to.
For sure. Pussy
I
don't need that
really
good
do.
all
Being
the time.
financially literate is something that not a lot of people have.
Financial literacy.
But we also
Like,
they
you
also
don't
don't teach us
have
that
it.
stuff though.
I mean, well, that
But when you try to teach a woman that, they don't want to learn it.
On the
talking about
same
I'm talking
apps that
people
they looking at these other women, they could be acquiring knowledge about things like that. You know what I
I'm
mean?
a big advocate for if the information's out there, you should have it. But I'm not talking about women in general. I'm talking about people in general. They don't teach us financial literacy. They don't teach us this type of stuff. So you literally have to go find it. You have to go find the information. Which, like I said, I'm a big advocate. And if the information's out there, you should be able to obtain it.
Yeah.
But it's not
and
as
it's not
black
even
and white.
told either.
It's not. No one.
You're not even.
It's a new thing.
No,
it's a new
and-
thing that's being talked about.
It's
Financial
never
literacy.
been
Like,
told, taught, anything. We got to go get that.
you have to go find it. But you shouldn't be, I don't know where I'm looking for. You shouldn't just be kind of like thrown away because you don't know financial literacy. Somebody should show you the way. So
Man, that's a risk though.
But the
That
thing
should
is,
be a
like, who
risk.
is supposed to be teaching this? Is
don't-
it schools?
Not
Is
your
it the
significant
government?
other.
Is it the parents raising the children? Who is supposed to be teaching
Okay,
financial literacy?
that's a good point.
That is a good
so
point.
you said who is supposed to be teaching us,
Because people
right?
complain about how schools don't teach these things. Okay, but at what point are we gonna put the load on the parents? Because at the same time, this is why you have to educate yourself so you can keep educating your children, and it keeps it keeps snowballing.
That's a beautiful picture that's painted, right? Like it starts at home. You're supposed to teach your child. You're supposed to
Exactly.
educate yourself and be your best self so you can feed your children all of these
Exactly.
beautiful things. Not everybody has that.
right.
that is
All of
that's
us,
true.
I'm sure that we all have
That's true.
flaws that our parents had that have cut through us. So we have all of these things that it's like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. Finances, all these rules and regulations when none of us fit in that box.
I definitely wasn't taught.
No, I definitely
which is-
wasn't. Listen, I'm from Puerto Rico. My country is very, like, we're considered low income. Like, we make, like, it's a regular thing for a Puerto Rican person to just be making, like, $30,000 a year or $40,000 a year. Actually, if you make $60,000 a year in Puerto Rico, you are up there. You are, like, high class, basically.
And that's why,
So
because-
I don't come from that. But I saw my mother struggling, and, she just taught me to always keep working. And she didn't teach me about Robinhood and how to invest and acquire,
She didn't know.
Ethereum
She
or
didn't know.
Bitcoin
That's
or
what-
anything
that's
like
what I
that.
just said. We don't know these things.
At a point, you have to, like, you're responsible for your own things.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Like, especially if you are older than, I would say, 25. I'm gonna give you some grace to all the younger people.
Yeah.
Like, if you're older than 25 and you're in that much of a financial situation, like, what did you educate yourself? Like, Google, it's a thing now.
what
This
it
is not like when
information
I
out
was
there.
growing up. When I was growing up, like, you had to go to the library and look in a book. Like, you have the world at the palm of your hand right now. So like being able to educate yourself and like about finances is just like that is something that is your responsibility. Like that is the
in our
reality of
generation,
it.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we live in an age of information, so there's really no excuse, honestly. And like your parents should teach you, but parents only can teach you what they know and what they have.
Exactly.
So if they don't know it, you don't get it.
Exactly.
But everybody's on YouTube, everybody's on the internet, and literally, if you search something, the algorithm will continue to feed that to you through cookies.
Exactly.
So there's really no excuse.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears on this one. So let's get into interracial relationships and interracial
That was a jump
dating.
of topic.
You know what I mean?
So we gotta pivot to finances.
let's just hit a Yui on this one real quick because we were kind of talking about this before the show as well. So I want to know from each person, what is your racial preference for dating?
And why?
Santiago.
Yeah, and why? And why? Each person.
If you want me to get
He said, let's end it all.
They gonna clip us out.
here. Okay,
Oh, I
so
already know.
I'm gonna help you guys out. Okay, so for me, I was married to a Hispanic. He was Cuban. I was married to him for 10 years. So now my preference is only black.
And what are you?
And I'm Mexican and Eastern European, but mostly Mexican. So I only date black guys, and that's it. So
Why?
Not-
I feel that black men are just the sexiest. For me, black men are the sexiest. And I've tried
appreciate
the
that.
dark Hispanic. I've tried the dark Hispanics, but there is a huge cultural difference in regards to also finances.
Yeah, it's in
Like
the
a
Mexican
lot,
community,
yeah.
it's different.
In the Latino community, those
But
men.
y'all work the hardest on guard, y'all do.
Yes,
Hispanics
but
work
the
hard.
Latinos,
Y'all work
the
hardest.
Latinos are extra machista. They're extra jealous. They're extra insecure. They don't like their women
you
making
mean like
more
that?
than they are.
Yeah, that's a
And look,
very
at the end of the
regular
day,
thing in
just
Hispanic
once you go
culture.
black, you can't go back. So
You know it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, put ass in wheelchair.
Ashley, what's your preference?
I hate to even answer this question.
Okay, what's your preference? What are you and why?
What am I?
Yeah,
Wow.
what's your ethnicity?
Well, I'm Mexican, and I just like darker men, right? Either if they're Hispanic or black. But to be honest, there's much more to it. Like I hate that we even have to like answer this question because it puts everybody in a box. Like, I'm sure you would not date every single black man. Like, but when you say, I just date black men, period. A lot of black men are gonna be like, oh, she dates black men. Let me slide on her DMs. And then you're probably gonna be like, what a fucking creep.
But they got to remember, not
There's
the
so
McDonald's
much
workers,
more
not
to
the
it.
Walmart workers, not them type of black men. We got to
We're
remember
still
that.
getting canceled.
No, yeah, and I know it's just a question, and I'm just explaining myself, I guess. I really don't like those kind of questions. But to answer the question, I do like darker complexions. I'm attracted to them. Yeah, but it is a cultural difference, like you said, for Hispanic men. I do think, like my dad was of machista, I guess, growing up. It is an unhealthy dynamic where they do think that women should just be at home cooking and cleaning, and that's all you have in life, and raise children. And not that that's not a good thing, because I do think that there's so much value in that dynamic, and it's a very beautiful and simple life. But it's not for everybody. And if you don't want that, then you can look somewhere else. That's all.
At this stage of my life, I do prefer black women. I just have a deep appreciation for black women at this point in my life. I've dated outside my race. I don't think interracial relationships are bad or anything like that. I feel like you can love whoever you want to love. I don't think that makes you wrong. If you're a black man, you want to date white women. With the exception of you not downing black women, then you do what you want to do.
Exactly.
I think
And-
that's one
and
of the
vice
biggest
versa. That's the
complaints
thing.
that I have seen from black women when they
Yeah.
speak about this topic. They're like, it's not
They
the
down
problem
the
is
black
not that
man.
the black man is dating the white woman, is the fact that he
bashing.
is just bashing on the black women while dating the white woman.
Right.
And like, it's no need. If you're dating that, they mind their business,
Yeah.
and they're like still dragged into it. And that's the biggest complaint. I be in comment sections all the time reading, and this is very common. I have
That's
read
the-
this hundreds of times.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is just don't down our women. Yeah, if you have a preference, you're not wrong for having your own preference. So, date who you want to date. But yeah, at this point in my life, I have a deep appreciation for black women. And like you said, the cultural difference, I want to be able to vibe with my woman and have like say movie quotes that most
That's
times it's
important.
gonna be black people gonna be able to understand.
Okay.
That's
So
important.
it's just like I want to be able to
That
ride with my
is.
woman and connect on a way that a lot of times you can't connect. You can, but it's like I said, it's a big culture difference. But yeah, I have a deep appreciation for black women at this point.
Okay.
Clear
Let me
your
move
throat. Go
out of
ahead,
the-
speak up.
Let me squeak out of the clip.
Let him have his moment.
I'm gonna start by saying, like he said, at this point in my life, I prefer and probably only mixed breeds, but it has to be a black and something. So more so black and Hispanic, black and Caucasian. You know, I like more exotic breeds, but the base, the
Breeds.
foundation. Well, you know,
You know they about to
That
eat.
kinda
They gonna
threw
eat.
me off.
They about to eat you up.
We're more
So we're animals now.
Okay, we all know who y'all are coming for.
I prefer
no,
more of an
he's
exotic.
I'm
kidding, I'm kidding.
It's cool. You said my preference. At this point in my life, I can afford, you know, a certain type of woman, and I've had that's beyond the point. But I've had all types of women, and at this point, I prefer a mixed breed, black and something, black and Hispanic, black and white. My son's carrier is black and Hispanic. As long as the foundation is black.
For sure.
But will I
reason?
date?
What's the reason for it not? If the foundation got to be black, why can't they be black?
See, I was about to answer that for y'all. I knew you was gonna hit it.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
It's either now or later because they're gonna ask you in the
I
comments.
love my black women. I just feel like the woman that brings me most peace is honestly a black and Latino woman. They're nurturers, they're caterers, they actually think about how this male, myself, may feel in a certain situation. You know, not to down my black women, I love them, but sometimes black women would tend to, and I mean this in the most respectful way, so you
do
clip
it.
it if you want.
Don't do it.
He's trying to
I got
stop
to,
you.
I got to.
I know where he's going.
Do it.
I know where he's going.
This is your life rap. This is your life rap.
I know exactly where he's going.
Don't do it.
Say the thing, bro.
Speak your piece.
He hasn't
Black
finished
women,
his sentence.
I
We're
love
assuming.
y'all.
I love my black women. I've been with, I prefer black women, but you just gotta have a splash or something else. Like, I've been in toxic relationships. I've been abused. I've been beat up. Yeah, my big ass. I've been beat up. So,
By black women?
by a black woman. Yeah, so I just, I'm scoring, not to say I won't take a black woman. If you think you're a pretty black woman that can bring peace, hey, hop in my DMs. But my preference is a mixed breed. Especially a black and Latino. Because like I said, they're nurturers, they're caterers.
breed.
They gonna
That's a
they
new
gonna
one.
tend to. The black women
you got
might
black
come
and
for me,
Latina
but
now?
it's okay.
A black and Latina, that's
No, I say I prefer the black and
But you
Latino.
said, but you
Afro-Latinos.
scoring because you got beat up by the black woman.
No,
now you
by
got
a
black
black.
and Latina.
Oh yeah,
that's even worse.
That's my son's carrier. She was a bit toxic.
That's even worse.
Over there.
These terms, they're funny.
Santiago.
She's
I
not
mean,
feeling that.
so we saying these terms. What would you classify?
Woman.
No. Pause. Time out. Technical foul.
what?
What would you? And this is gonna prove my point. So watch this. Just literally, black women dig deep. This is gonna prove my point. What would you classify a man that you had his seed and he does not help with the child?
What would I classify a
Would you call
man?
him a baby daddy, baby father, a sperm
The father
donor?
of my children.
Okay. What would a black woman classify that man?
A deadbeat.
Or a baby daddy, baby father. So what should I classify a woman that does nothing for her son? A carrier. Oh, okay. So yeah, you see also in the difference in races how a Latino woman is smoother, she's cultural, she's nicer. A black woman, you say, oh, he a deadbeat ass, ain't shit ass, bitch made ass nigga, baby daddy, baby father. That's not what she said. She still gave that man respect. He's the father of my child. We don't get that in the black community.
Hey,
Why you
Why
gotta stoop?
Because
though?
I know I ain't stupid. I just went to the other side. You dig what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying, but so why not? So I think when people try to match energy, you're not in control of your
I
own.
didn't match. I didn't even engage. I disengaged and I went to the women, the culture that respects me for a man,
No.
the Greek god.
I'm talking about, like she said, the terms that you use. You saying just because black women say deadbeat, baby daddy,
Oh, that's our
then you
culture.
have.
That's what I just proved. I
So-
just proved that's our culture because even me as a black man, I said carrier. I'm not
So do you think
Hispanic.
do you think
it's
it's
not
right
in
though?
my culture to say the mother of my child. You're not a mother. It's nothing she does that makes her a mother. You don't check on your child. You don't give any finances. You don't do
there's a lot of
anything.
layers to that.
Yeah.
It's not
It
just
can be, and we just went to another topic, but that's like what I said. You would call a dude a baby daddy if he's a deadbeat. So where you say my terminology carrier came from, I had to intervene and let you know what I meant by that. I'm a full-time single father. I take care of my handicapped son, not his mother. We don't know where she is, what she's doing. She's in a whole nother state with who, what, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a full-time single father to a handicapped individual. My son is 8 years old, cannot speak or talk. So I earned the right as a man, as a father, as that leader to say, hey, she's just a carrier. And anybody around me, including Kels, know why she's a carrier. You know
So you're saying it's a
Like,
cultural synonym, basically.
exactly.
because it's a lot more common within.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
exactly.
we
And
don't
that's what I
often
just
see the
proved with
reverse
the
of that.
differences.
We don't
too.
see the reverse of that too.
Listen, and
They more so see the man as the deadbeat.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't
yeah.
really see the woman.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
now here I am to present to you a single father that holds his ground for his son, and now you see the opposite. You do have women out there that may or may not be, mothers.
But don't you think that just out of the love that you have for your child, that you have to have a certain
That's
level
a
of
good point.
respect for your
I did. I
child's
said
mother?
son's carrier. That's respectful.
Okay, I digress.
Santiago, let's get to your preference.
You know I could have taken it
Oh,
off.
so I'm just gonna
I
digress.
know, right? That's the original question.
Mine is not controversial. I prefer, obviously, I'm Hispanic. I'm Puerto Rican, so my preference is gonna be Puerto Rican. It's gonna be Hispanic, right? And Hispanic, Black. But at the end of the day, like I'm very open to. Like I have dated all of them except I don't think I've ever dated anybody Asian. But that's just because it's not because of anything. It's
It
just
just
it hasn't
is.
presented
It just
itself.
is.
So Asian
Yeah,
guys,
opportunity
hit up
hasn't gotten
Santiago. Her handle will be at the
Dockside
beginning
training,
of the video. Hit her up, link in bio.
Link in bio. Check the bio.
Yeah.
No, for me, so my ex-wife is Puerto Rican. So that's what my kids are. But my preference is I desire a brown-skinned woman, honestly. So whether that's Latina or Afro-Latina, and I'm attracted to Black women, I really am. But this is what I found out.
Not the butt.
But this is what I found
Yeah.
out. Let me hit this. I'm not a Black woman's Black man.
Talk your
Okay.
talk.
Wow, that's a
So,
very
Wow.
I'm
That's fair.
attracted
That's
to
fair.
Black women. I find them beautiful. I see a Black woman. I'm out in Houston. I'm like, dang, man, she fine. Like I would love to get to know her, right? But I'm not her type. On paper, I am. I check all the boxes. But the personality, my culture, how I talk, how I dress, like my vibe is not what modern Black women want in a man.
Oh,
And
wow.
you probably more of a Black woman's Black man, but we're totally different,
I
right?
feel that.
So what?
You see what I'm saying? So that's my thing.
So
with-
what do you
here's
think
my
the
deeper
difference
question
is?
No. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
What is the difference
Because
then?
if I think I've learned, it's not to get in Black people business. So
You know what?
that ain't got nothing to do with it.
I am.
I'm sitting that one
You know
out.
what?
Because I kind of have an idea of what you meant by that, but like I said,
No,
that,
it
let me
is.
explain.
that ain't got nothing to
That's
do
a
with
good
me.
point because I'm
go ahead.
Mexican, so I tread lightly, right? Most
Yeah.
of my clients are Black.
I don't tread lightly.
Yeah.
No, because
know that.
I understand that it's a sensitive topic, and I'm not Black.
Yeah.
I can only
But we
relate
accept,
to.
We
I
accept
can.
Hispanic and Latinos as if y'all Black.
No,
We all
I
minority.
know, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful to
Pop
accept
your
each
shit.
other. But I have never experienced being Black. I've never woken up
Yeah.
and said, "Okay, I'm Black. I have to deal with societal whatever." You guys know. I don't have to explain it. So that's why I'm treading lightly,
Right.
just out of
Go ahead,
respect.
speak your piece.
I forgot what my point was. What were you saying?
You saying what's the difference?
Oh, I was just
Difference.
asking, like, what do you guys think is the difference between the eye of a Black woman, like whenever she's looking for a man, and why she wouldn't choose somebody like you? Because
That's what I wanted
you're
to
a Black
ask too,
man.
but I wasn't gonna be. Why do you think you're not a Black woman's Black
Yeah.
man? Because
Because
if you check it off on paper, that's all.
no,
they
on
care
paper,
about,
yeah, it's
really.
like what
That's
does
different,
most women
though.
want on paper, right? You want like a nice guy, a good guy, has a job, has a car, own place, potentially a good father. Like I'm all those things,
Yeah.
right? But then like me and you talk different, right? Your energy is totally different from mine. You got big energy. You know what I mean? Like you come on the spot, I'm the biggest. Like that's
The
not my
biggest,
energy.
I'm the littlest.
So that's attractive to Black women, right?
It
And I
should be
carry-
attractive to every woman because
I
I'm
carry
confident
this-
in myself.
Oh my
I carry the same
God.
aura.
I
just-
cannot
I'm-
No,
stand
it's
you.
valid, but I carry the same aura and confidence, but it's a different presentation because of our context.
Yeah.
You're raised
I get
in
it.
Houston, right? I'm from Indiana.
But also
With
to
you.
go off of that, me being that outlandish and personable, that kind of steers some women away. I took a toll. They
sure.
mostly say they're scared of me because I might be too fine or too muscular or too this and that. And I've never heard that until 2 weeks ago. But although you say I'm more approachable by black women, I think I'm not. They look at me and turn the other way. I hold the door for a black woman. She won't say thank you or even look up at me. Heads go down. I hold the door for somebody that look or, is of you guys' race. Oh, thank you, Poppy. Thank you, Poppy Chulo. But, all I care about is the acknowledgement that I did hold the door for you or pick up this or that. A black woman, he think he fine. He gonna holler at me, this and that. I get stuck in this stereotypical bullshit just as much as you.
If we're honest, bro, like a lot of black women, generally speaking, okay, not individually speaking,
eat us,
generally
fuck it,
speaking,
come on.
right? They're not going to want a guy that has a 9-to-5 or corporate job and wants to like live a good, simple, traditional life.
We should have had a black woman
They
in
want
here
life
today.
on the edge. They want the thrill. Like, nigga, they probably want you to be scamming, like running something. I'm not saying
I
that.
don't think so.
I'm not saying that, but it's the life on the edge. It's the like a guy like me looks to be polished and safe, versus another guy could be look to be more risky and more
because a
exciting.
black
It's the
woman
bad.
wanna feel
It's the bad
protected.
boy.
So long as you
It's
give
a
off
bad
that
boy
aura that you
image.
can protect them, you a
Yeah,
black
bro, I carry the
woman's
same
man.
confidence. It's not a thing to me. Like, I don't lack confidence. It's the fact that I understand that the context I come from, being a kid from northern Indiana, raised in a predominantly white context, my upbringing and how I kind of grew up, it didn't fashion me to be attractive to most black women.
So when you say your preference is a brown skin, does that include black women?
Yeah, I never said I'm not attracted to black women. I said that I'm not a black woman's
So
black man.
if a black woman and a Latina woman was choosing you, which one would you
I'm
take?
getting the Latino off rip.
Oh, he said that. No hesitation.
Off rip. And this is why.
I didn't
This is
stutter.
why, yeah. This is why. And I think a lot
Hey,
of
I'm
times.
with you on that one, brother. You ain't got no argument
No,
for me.
I think for me, it's a cultural compatibility. Now I understand your point is that as a black man, black women understand us on a level that nobody else can. 100% undeniable. But I feel like black women are raised to expect service from a man and not to serve a man. It's about what he can do for her all the time. And she's not really thinking about what she can provide for him. Not saying everybody. Some women are very great. But the Michelle Obamas are not of our generation. But Latina women are raised to serve a man. They'll bring you the plate.
That's
They're
what
going to be
I'm
the
saying.
last
We're
one to
catering.
eat.
Exactly.
They're going to do the things for you. You know what I mean? So
agree
as a
with you.
black man, you're raised probably by your mom to serve a woman. That's how
And
you
what-
open
and
the
what did
door
you
for
say,
her,
raised
pull
by
out a
who?
chair, your mom.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because in our day and age,
Exactly.
the man always leads. That's why I had to throw that curveball. But
So-
anyway, keep preaching.
So
all you
that's
doing.
what I'm saying is that we as black men are raised to serve a woman and Latino women are raised to serve a man. So there's cultural compatibility to me. Whereas with the black woman, it's like I'm expected to serve her, but I'm like, well, shit, who about to bring me my plate of food? Come on,
Clip him, don't clip me.
cook me. So that's how I feel about it.
I agree with you. Kel, you don't agree? You over there quiet by your lip, you don't agree?
Hey man,
He's lost
my facial
words.
expression is gonna tell it all on camera.
Yeah,
My face
please
don't
kiss
lie.
them facial expressions because
My
we
face
know.
is
He,
never
he
tell
has a
lie.
point because as dominant and masculine as I may seem, I will always cook and I will always serve you a plate, even if I'm making more money than you. Because you're right. We were raised, and us 3 Latina women are here. We were raised culturally. We were raised to serve, and we were also raised to have the family unit always be together. Because culturally, and you ladies can speak on this, culturally, family and our husbands and our actual home is our responsibility.
Yes, and we control the energy in our home.
Thank you, I agree.
We create a sanctuary. We create a
Yes.
safe space for our family, for our kids, for our
See?
man to get home to, and he can take his boots off and just relax.
Yes.
And that is very important. Now, culturally, is that a huge difference? Yes.
Yes.
And I do not blame Black women though, because it's just something unfortunate.
It's just how we were raised.
It's just something
Circumstances
unfortunate.
of everybody are so unique. that I wouldn't even put it as a whole in cultural specifics.
I can sum
Like
it up.
every situation is so different. Like
The majority of the time, so to your point, it's more so like that because you guys already explained it. When the man in Hispanic culture is more likely than not to provide, to go to work hard, do this and that. So the woman is already programmed to do to serve. In a black household, a lot of times the niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't working. The woman got to work a 9 to 5. She got to come home, clean, cook. She don't want to serve you no plate. What the fuck did you do to even to deserve me to serve you a plate? A lot of times that is the dynamic of a black household. So to change that, we got to, as men, change that dynamic, then the women can fall in line with that dynamic. So if we don't date our black women and show them different, how is it ever going to change? If we just switch over to the other side because that's already there.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's a fair point.
that is true.
I'm not down to your preference. Everybody is entitled to their preference. Do what you're gonna do. But I feel like as black men, we also gotta change the dynamic in our own culture too.
I agree, and I don't disagree. Or it's not that I don't find black women beautiful, attractive, or desirable, or any of the things. It's just that in my experience in dating, it's just that my compatibility level is higher with a Latino woman or Afro-Latina than it is with dating a black woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's just
that's fine. You're allowed to have your preference, and that's perfectly fine. Not everybody, nobody is for everybody.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not for everybody.
like,
You know what I mean?
nobody is for
I'm an
everybody.
asshole.
And
so.
and to your point, like you were saying, you're not the black woman's black man. I know exactly what you mean by that. Being from Indiana too, like when you talk proper, you step straight. You working 9 to 5. You more polished. It's not always a black woman's preference. A lot of black women do like to, like you said, live on the edge. And they like the athletes, the rappers, the shiny stuff. Like it's. I understand that, and like you said, it is a lot of times circumstantial. It ain't all black women, but to your point, I definitely understand what you mean by you're not the black woman's black man. And it'd
be like a black guy that's like into anime and stuff like that.
Right.
Like
It's not cultural for us.
Yeah.
So, I understand.
That's
that.
what I was saying.
I understood you as well.
All my
But I was
brothers
like,
in anime.
See, you keep saying you out, but you keep jumping in.
I know, but
You might as well just say your piece.
no, it's okay.
Let them know that you are the Latino woman that loves to cater to the black man. That's all she wants y'all to know. Yeah, that's all.
That's all
I
I
said it for her. You clip me, don't clip her.
That's okay. You can say as you please. It's okay. But I understood you. It's okay. You can have your preference. Everybody can have their preference.
That's too funny. All right, so last question. Last topic I want to get into is marriage. So I think we're the only ones here who's been married. JB, you been married?
I've been married.
Married? You were married too.
I
That's
was
right.
married. Yeah.
Kels, you the only one?
How long was y'all married?
Married, man.
Like 5 years.
You were married for 5?
I was married for 3.5 years. Yeah.
What about you?
The zero, never.
Never? Okay. Okay, so then my question is, in today's culture, do you view marriage as more of a risk or a reward?
It depends on what you value in a marriage. If you value the finances, it's always gonna be a risk. It's more a risk for. I can't say it's more a risk for a man because most of the time when a woman gets into a marriage, she's giving up something to stay home with the kids and this and that. So it's a risk for her too. If the marriage don't go right and ain't no prenup, now you out on your ass most of the time. So it's a risk for the woman too, but it's a risk for the man because if you take care of somebody and then it hit the fan and you don't got the prenup, you might be losing 50%. So it's
Or 9 times out of 10,
be.
you also lose a lot more because you lose your household, you lose your kids. You can't.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna have to go somewhere else, and she gets to stay with everything else.
Marriage is a gamble, regardless. You can never know how somebody's gonna change in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. Because I've seen cases of people getting divorced after being married for 40 years.
Would you ever be married?
Like, huh?
Would you ever be married?
Probably not. I just don't feel like it changes much. I just don't feel like the same way about it anymore. I don't know if it's because the first one didn't work or anything like that, but I don't think I would. I don't think it means, if it's not financial, like, because what does it actually do? Like, other than tie up your finances?
It depends. Like it's
Like I'm not a religious person, so
probably
I don't have that to fall on.
So would you have a lifelong partner? instead?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like a lifelong partner. I think that would be like more of my vibe. I just don't see it. If he proposed, would I accept? Yes, but it's not something that I'm like pushing
That's gonna be
for.
your fiance for life.
You know,
That's fair.
Most time
like
it's
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 just
two aspects. It's either the religious aspect or the financial aspect. That's the two probably most.
those are the biggest ones.
So marriage, the actual act of marriage is a legality in the state that you're signing a license. You are now giving the state control over your union.
Yes.
So when you get married, and we can speak on this because we went through a divorce and we know what it's like to have to, cut ties, and you got to bring some judges and lawyers up in here. So for me, like you were saying, the actual marriage could be under God if you're religious, but you're allowing the state to have control over your union of your partner.
Which is why you even need permission to not be with them anymore.
Exactly.
You have to go in there and get a divorce and go through the process.
I prefer
Because
to
you went
keep
through
things
them.
separate regardless. Like even when I was married, we still kept separate bank accounts, separate everything. Like I just don't like that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You were really about your money, boy.
I don't like that.
Oh, tell me about
I don't even like. First of all, and I've had this discussion actually. I wouldn't change my last name. I wouldn't. First off, this is cultural based. In Puerto Rico, you do not change your last names. We have two last names.
That was a battle with me and my ex-wife.
Oh, you went through
Yeah,
that shit
so
too?
I wouldn't do it because there's just no way on this earth that I would give up my mother's and father's last names for someone that I just don't have 100% certainty that I'm going to be with.
Pause. You say your mother's and your father's.
We
but
have
in the
two last
culture-
names. We have two last names.
Oh,
in
they
Puerto Rico.
combine them?
Yeah, when you have a child, your child is going to have whatever name you give him, and then the father's first last name and the mother's first last name, and then their second last name falls off, obviously.
Okay.
But then, so when you have a kid, it just keeps going. But I would never do that. And I know a lot of people are probably not going to like that because in this culture in the United States, it's what y'all do. But in my culture, we don't do that. I don't want to go through the hassle. First of all, I'm just not dropping my
Yeah, I get
mother's
it,
and father's last name. I'm just not, like, especially because, like, you never know in a marriage, like.
But what
what's
about the
gonna happen?
leave and cleave aspect? Like you're leaving your family and starting a new family with your husband.
But in my, it just doesn't work that way. We're all a big family. Like I just
still
don't
family,
turn
but it's-
into like this little family. I'm still
You don't
part of
drop
like
it, though.
as a
You just,
whole.
instead of dropping, you just add it. Yeah.
No, that's no. Well,
how you added it.
I
That's
talked,
basically what they did.
I talked with someone about that, and they were still, oh, but you can add it. Oh, but they wanted me to change it to the front though. Like,
Yeah. So
Like,
I
I already-
compromised. So my maiden name became my middle name, just like, and then his last name became my last name, obviously. But I fought for it. Like I had to change my federal badge and everything, and I hate it when I went from Robles to Lopez.
I just would never.
effing hated it. But we compromised. We get into the conversation of compromise. So I said, if I change my last name to yours, I get to pick the kids' names.
Okay, yeah.
And he said, okay.
Yeah, in a relationship, you can find those kinds. I just personally would never do it.
I feel that.
Like-
That's valid. That's valid.
So this is the question.
Okay, so the question
Yeah,
is,
what was the
question is,
question?
do you feel like marriage is more of a risk or a reward? Which one more risk or more reward today?
I think there's a lot of risk because a lot of people do value finances nowadays. We've been talking about finances almost most of this morning. They incorporate a lot into relationships, especially in America. Well, I don't know anywhere else because I've only lived in America my whole life. But yeah, finances are very up there when it comes to relationships, and nobody's talking about the actual union and actually liking somebody, actually getting along, and just matching with somebody so good that finances aren't even talked about. But it is a risk. It's a risk in general to be in a relationship nowadays. So
Yeah.
to be honest, what you want matters, right? So now I don't ever see myself getting married again. So, but I do want to celebrate my union. So I can celebrate it differently in the way that I want.
So you're in a relationship right now,
Yes.
right? Which is your boyfriend?
My partner.
Your partner?
Yes.
Okay. So with respect to intentionality, what's the intention of your relationship if you don't desire marriage?
I think that marriage is just a paper, though. I don't view it like it's another level.
Yeah.
I'm already on that with him. We got into the relationship already in that union. So for him to, or for both of us to get, we have a child together. Yeah, we
You're
live
just
together.
sharing your life with
We
this
share,
person the
and
same way you would if
yes.
you were actually legally married.
Exactly.
The only thing is that you
agree
don't
with
have
that,
your
yeah.
finances
Now-
tied up and you're not bound by any religious aspect.
Yes.
If that's not your like vibe or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and I learned that the hard way, though, because I did get married, right? And I did make the mistake of just getting married because that's what's in. I don't even know if it's because of my culture or for society. Yeah, it's just promoted so much. Get married. That's the only way that
Yeah,
you
because
know
that's
that.
just like the American dream. You know, you go to college, you graduate, you get married, you buy the house, you have the kids, you die.
Yeah,
That's
and not
basically what
only
it
that,
is.
you also it's promoted that if he's not marrying you, or if he doesn't know immediately that he's going to marry you, if he doesn't marry you within the first whatever
That's
couple
not
months,
it.
within the year, he's not serious, and that's feeded into you. So you end up marrying somebody. Not even, I don't even know why I got married
It's
that
just-
young. But
everybody has like their own opinions because like you can be in a healthy relationship for a long time and the man will propose. Like one of my dearest friends from Puerto Rico, he was with his girlfriend for 10 years before he decided to propose and actually, get married. But you can also know like at 1 year if you want to marry her. Like you can know at 3 months if you want to marry her. Like it just depends on the person, like honestly.
yeah,
But
So you say risk? Say more of a risk?
depending where you are, like if you're in America, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes,
It's a risk.
it's a risk.
It's a risk. Point blank, period.
I'm gonna say it's more of a risk because, like they said, nothing else really changes. If you wanna be with somebody, life.
Kels, your mic isn't working, so we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Yeah, you're good.
Nope.
We can edit all this out. I think that's all I got.
I'm gonna say it's more of a risk because if you really own that with your partner, nothing is really gonna change. The feelings ain't gonna change. Nothing's really gonna change except for, like you said, the finances and the legality of it is the only thing that's really gonna change when you get married. Obviously, I've never been married, but I assume if I love you enough to marry you, when I marry you, I'm not gonna love you more because I'm married to you.
Exactly.
So it's just more of a risk because of finances. Nothing. If you're just looking at risk to reward, you can only look at guarantees. That's the whole point of looking at risk to reward. So in a relationship, nothing is guaranteed anyway. So it's
It's
just
the
gonna be more
same
of a
thing.
risk. Yeah, it's gonna be more of a risk at the end of the day.
I guess you're only gonna know if it was more of a reward at the end. But how can you?
At the end, when you're 80
At
years
the
old
end,
and you get
exactly.
to see all the plot
Wait,
twists.
if you make it to 80, when you see all the pictures and how him like provided and how she raised the kids and how y'all created this beautiful family. But that's why I said earlier, it's a gamble.
Well, I think
You have to gamble.
I think seeing both the risk and the reward are revealed throughout time, not at the end of it. Just like you can be in a
Oh, so
relationship
yeah, you
and
can see
you can
little
see like
nibbles
more
of
and
it
more risk, more and more
throughout-
risk.
throughout,
You can
yeah,
also
of
see
course.
more and more reward, more and more reward.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you're not gonna see nothing, throughout the 40
Yeah.
years. But like the biggest, the jackpot you're gonna see, at the end. But you have to take a gamble with anything. Anything
Yeah,
you do
I mean-
in life is a gamble.
Yeah, love is a
Like,
risk.
yeah.
You don't get the reward without taking the risk.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we keep saying like finances is a common thing that everybody's saying, but I feel like the risk in marriage like is way beyond finances. You know what I mean? I think that's a part of it,
true.
but it's like, what about parenting style? What if you have a child with somebody and their parenting style is different from yours? You know what I mean? Like that's a huge thing.
Absolutely.
What about the family they come from?
the type of lifestyles?
You know
But I'm
what I
guessing
mean?
these
Like
are
they-
all conversations that you should have before you
Way
even
before you get
Way
married.
have
before.
the thought of
Yeah.
having like a marriage. Like
But-
like when you get into
Who's
a
really
marriage,
thinking about it like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I probably can't even hear me, but I would say like who most people don't because a lot of pregnancies be unexpected. So it's like you didn't even think about having a conversation because you wouldn't even think about having a kid. So at that point, you're not even thinking about having this parenting style conversation, which most people should because 9 out of 10 y'all probably don't agree on parenting styles. Like, you got kids?
Mm-hmm.
You whoop your kids?
No.
You whoop your kids? I know you don't whoop your kid.
That's because of the situation.
I was about to say, I know you don't whoop your kid.
I don't.
Yeah, I was like, you know, you
I don't
don't.
have any kids.
And most people whoop their kids. That's a big deciding factor.
No, and I'm not.
So yeah, I think that should be a big conversation you need to have before you.
Yeah.
Were you
have
guys
kids.
whooped as kids?
I just had this conversation with my parents. Yeah, I just had that conversation.
Well,
My
I
little
wasn't.
boys, I'll punch them in their shoulder, something like that. Little girl, I'm soft on women, so probably not. Excuse me, my daughter. But yeah.
Nah, getting a whooping as a kid like wrecked me as an adult, honestly.
Which is why I don't want to do it. But I wasn't whooped as a
It
kid.
kept me out of trouble, but it was like,
Honestly, in my
It
case,
wasn't
it
good.
fixed me. I got a couple whoopings from my mama. I never did it again.
But it teaches you.
Never did it again.
A whooping. Only thing a whooping is teaching you is somebody's mad at me for doing this, so I can hit them.
Yeah.
So if you teaching the kid that, now they're gonna go to school. Oh, little Tommy over here made me mad. I'm about to put hands on
Yeah.
you.
So what does prison teach you?
That if you do wrong, you gotta sit your ass down.
So what does the punishment teach you?
You should get punished, but I don't think only time you should hit your kid is if they do violence to somebody else. Now,
What would you
because that's
consider a hit? A tap?
you shouldn't put your
or-
hands on your kids. You shouldn't put your hands on your kid. I'm not gonna say shouldn't. It's all circumstantial. But I would not put my hands on my kids unless they put their hands on somebody else. Because in real life, as an adult, if I put my hands on somebody,
You get
they
your
gonna
ass
put their
whooped.
hands on me. If I yell at somebody, they shouldn't be putting their hands on me. So that's the same as a kid. Just because a kid yelled at me,
True.
I'm not gonna give you a whooping because you yelled at me. I'm gonna go sit your ass
So you
down.
would whoop your kid.
If they hit,
Exactly.
like I said, yeah, I will
The
only.
question is yes or no.
It's circumstantial.
Okay.
The circumstance is only
Yes
if
or
the
no
kid
doesn't
does something
exist.
I
violent.
would.
Yeah,
so for me with whooping, right, I look at it as like, it's really a remnant of slavery. It's really what it is, right? Our ancestors were slaves to oppressors that got beat on for doing the wrong things. And that's passed down through the generations. So when somebody's kids acting up, the parents treat them the same way that they were handled generations before. So when it came to me, and my mom, I love you, Mom. I love you. We love you. I love you with my
We
whole
all
heart.
love you.
But she was my disciplinarian. And my mom would whoop me until her anger was done. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Like until she was no longer like angry. And it was like a get naked type of whooping.
Abuse.
I mean, that's what my therapist asked me. My therapist
But
like,
we grew up under
my
all
therapist
kind
was
of
like,
abuse,
would you
sexual abuse,
say,
child abuse?
my therapist like, would you say you were abused? I was like, no, I just
Yeah,
grew
we
up black.
wouldn't say no, but nowadays
I
these
just grew up black.
soft-ass
That's not
kids-
abuse. My cousins got the same whoopings. You know what I mean? But so that's coming down the line. So to me, I was like, man, that shit stops right here. The other thing was, you know, if you're in a relationship where there's like domestic violence, partners hitting each other, for me, I learned to love a woman that hit me from my mom.
Wow.
So because my mom whooped me like that, I can get in a relationship with a woman that I could fight with her and I could not view it as a domestic violence situation because I still chose to love her just like I chose to love my mom. So I don't want to pass that on to my daughter. I don't want to whoop my daughter and think, oh, Papa whooped me, he hits me. So then she gets in a relationship with a man who's beating her because I taught her how to love a man that hits her.
Okay.
I'm not going to pass that shit on. I don't want to pass that on to my
So
son.
what about your son? Would you
Same thing.
punch him in his chest, his arm or something?
I mean, 90% of the time, there's really nothing my kids can do to get a whooping.
gotta make
It
it
have to
tough.
be an extreme situation. Now, I tough him up. I rowdy. We play sports. He's in karate. You know, I keep his boy energy
I'm
up.
a self-defense.
But I don't have to hit him to get him to learn a lesson or to correct the behavior.
Nah, just to make him a little bit tougher, because in today's society, everything is soft. Painted nails, skirts, kilts, man bag, merces, purses. Everything is soft dealing with a man now. So I respect your view. And
No,
you
I
actually
hear you.
got me sold on the daughter aspect before. Man, I feel like we got to make our boys tougher. Now, does that mean me punching him in the shoulder? Does that make him tougher? Not essentially. But he also will be able to let some shit roll and not be, you know, we got a lot of men that's soft as shit these days.
So do you think to make a man tough, you have to abuse? You got to
I
abuse?
just said no, just because you hit him don't necessarily make him, but it will make it tougher around the edges where it teaches him, hey, you're going to fall down in life. You're going to get hit. You're going to get bruised. You're going to get this, that, and the third. But we keep on pushing. So when I say, oh no, hit my son like that. No, it's like, man, if you don't sit your ass down, you know better. You know, a little frog. Didn't y'all get frogs growing up in your arms and wedgies and nooks and wet willies and shit like that? Kids
niggas
don't
ain't
know
play
what a
with me like
frog
that.
is, a wedgie and wet willie. Like, it don't mean I got to pull out a belt or a switch or a 2x4 and beat the shit out of you. No, Wet Willie, sit your ass down.
That's
Up,
more
wedgie, boom.
That's more playful though. I don't.
That's still a punishment.
yeah.
That's still some type of abuse to these new age. And no, a froggy is not playfulness. A wedgie is not playfulness. Them shits hurt. You must ain't had one. Them shits hurt. Shit, a frog hurt and a wedgie hurt. That's good enough. No, daddy, I don't want no wedgie. I don't want no frog. Cool. Cool. Hell no. But I'm saying like some type of something to make them, it's just, I view shit different. And we got a lot of soft men. And I feel like not 100% that me touching him would make him tougher, but some type of something. Not just letting him, oh, you don't do that. Like, that's not going to be good enough.
No, I agree with what you're
as
saying.
a black man, where we're raising black men, that's not what the real world is. You get pulled over with a Latina and now it's pimping. Or, we smoking a blunt now. Oh, you going to jail. You got 5 pounds in the trunk. Like, as a black man, it's not easy. So I'm going to teach my son, hey, it's never fair for us, So you might get a little tap here, but I'm teaching you to let that shit ride.
How do you keep that from turning into your kid becoming hyper masculine? Because that's just as bad. Yeah, becoming hyper masculine and me becoming too feminine is
because we got a lot of women around us and we're boyishly handsome. So my son would be well rounded in that aspect. And to go deeper, you kind of know my lifestyle. So he'll have abundance of women to help cater to that evenism.
But I don't.
So do you view it the same for your daughter? Do you have them?
As far as what? I don't have a daughter yet.
Oh, well, if you would have a daughter, like, would you surround her with a lot of men so it could?
I don't have a lot of men in my life.
But I know you don't. But just that narrative that you just put about your boy, how you said you don't have to worry about that because you'll have a lot of women around.
Yeah, I definitely have more women in my life than men.
But she's asking.
Do you get what I mean?
I see what you're asking.
Because your sentence said that you'll
No, my son's going to have more women and my daughter would have more women in her life. I don't have men around me, period. But that's a whole nother topic.
She's asking, how would you flip the script with you saying your son is going to have the man and a lot of women around him, but if you don't have a lot of men around
my daughter doesn't have to be masculine, so why would I want her to learn masculinity?
But what does having other women around have to do with masculinity?
Because his question was being over masculine. So women,
hyper masculine.
Yes, so that would be a balance, because my mom, grandma, everybody spoils my son. So he has, I guess, too much femininity going around, and I'm the only masculine because it's only 2-3 boys in the family. I didn't have my father and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm big with trying to teach my son to be a masculine figure. So I think by default, my son would be one of these new age men because there's a lot of women around him. So that's where I come into play to kind of teach him to be a gentleman, teach him to be masculine, and not to be like the women he see around him. Like, you see a woman, you're not a woman, you're a man. This is how men act. This is what we do. You see the women sit down and we take out the trash. You see what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't have to do with abuse, but there's not enough men in my life, in my lifestyle, or my family. So I'm there to show that. And that's what I meant by it. And for my girl, it'll be nothing but women.
I think I misunderstood
my grandfathers are, deceased. I've nothing but one grandma left, my mom, aunts. I don't come from a family full of men. Mm-hmm. So for my daughter, she would be well protected by women, but that would make me be hyper masculine, as you say, because now not only do I have a family full of women I have to protect, but now I got my little girl. So I would probably become over masculine or hyper masculine, as you said. But as far as my son, I would try to keep that perfect barrier.
So it makes sense why you have the mentality of like, there's no excuses, because for you, there is none.
Thank you. Yeah.
There is none.
But you also see it took a cultural woman to understand me, see.
And then
he just brought it right back. You was in a good space, bro.
I know this is a great space. I'm surrounded by beautiful women. I'm surrounded by beautiful women. Because look, one thing about it, if I'm not a black woman's black man, I know I'm somebody's black man. I'm
somebody's black man.
Yeah,
you somebody's nigga, bro.
If you don't like me, that's cool. Unfollow or don't watch. That's just what it is,
I love it. Yo, y'all brought so much energy to the conversation. So many good perspectives, preferences, opinions. And that's really the point of this conversation, is to have open, authentic dialogue of sharing our differences about different topics that are really going around on the internet right now. And to not really lay into somebody because we all think differently, because we all have different backgrounds. We all have different experiences, but we all are going to the same places in life. So if y'all trying to go to the top with us, definitely connect with us on IG and be sure to follow CCN Network on all platforms.